Why up there?
Have you ever noticed your cat climbing up to the highest place in the room and then just sitting there, quietly watching everything? Maybe it's the top of a shelf, the back of your couch, or that one spot they somehow claimed as theirs. Most people look at that and think, oh, they just like being up high. But if you really stop and watch, it doesn't feel that simple. There's something intentional about it, almost like they're choosing that exact place for a reason. And once you understand what that reason actually is, you start seeing your cat very differently. Let's start with the obvious assumption. A lot of people think cats go high because they want to feel dominant, like they're ruling over the room. And sure, it can look that way, sitting above everyone else, looking down like a tiny emperor. But here's the thing, it's not really about power, it's about safety. Research in animal behavior consistently shows that cats feel less stressed when they have access to elevated spaces. Being higher up gives them control over their environment. They can see what's happening, they can predict movement, and most importantly, they know nothing can easily sneak up on them. So when your cat climbs up high, it's not trying to dominate you, it's trying to relax. And if you pay close attention, you'll notice something interesting. When a cat is in one of those high places, its body looks completely different. The muscles are loose, the tail is calm, the breathing is slow. But the eyes are always working, quietly tracking, observing, processing. It's not hunting and it's not anxious either. It's something in between. It's awareness without fear. That's a state most animals only reach when they feel genuinely safe, and your cat chose that spot to get there.
Now here's where things get even more interesting. Cats don't just rely on what they see to feel safe. They rely heavily on what they smell. In fact, many animal behavior experts suggest that when introducing a cat to another animal, like a dog, scent should come first, long before they ever see each other. Because to a cat, smell is information, it's identity, it's intention. When they recognize a scent as familiar, their stress drops significantly. So when your cat rubs against objects, or even against you, it's not just being affectionate, it's building a world that smells predictable, and therefore safe. And that leads to something a lot of people misunderstand. When your cat ignores you, you call their name and they don't even look. You try to get their attention and they just keep doing their thing. It feels a little rude, right? But strangely enough, that behavior can actually mean the opposite of what you think. In many cases, a cat that feels completely secure doesn't feel the need to constantly check in. It's not ignoring you because it doesn't care. It's ignoring you because it already trusts the environment you're part of. You're not a threat. You're not unpredictable, so it doesn't need to monitor you. Think about that for a second. The absence of attention can actually be a form of trust. Now let's talk about something that changes everything: escape. Imagine being in a room where you can't leave. No matter how comfortable it looks, a part of you would always feel tense, always a little on edge. Animals feel that too. Studies on feline stress have shown that when cats have access to vertical escape options, like shelves, cat trees, or elevated surfaces, they show lower signs of chronic stress. And more importantly, they're more willing to be present in shared spaces, not because they're forced to be there, but because they know they can leave whenever they want.
That small detail changes the entire dynamic. When your cat sits near you or stays in the same room as another pet, it's not always because it has to. Sometimes it's because it knows it has a way out and still chooses to stay. And you can actually see this in the way they move. A cat that feels trapped moves differently, faster, sharper, more reactive. But a cat that knows it has options moves slower, more deliberate. There's a kind of quiet confidence in it, like it's not in a rush to escape because it doesn't need to. And maybe the most surprising part of all of this is what it says about your relationship with them. Your cat is not dependent on you in the way dogs often are. It doesn't need your approval every second. It doesn't follow you because it has to. In fact, it always has the option to walk away,
to hide, to go somewhere else entirely. That option is always there. And yet, it comes back. It sits near you. It sleeps in your space. It watches you from across the room, not out of fear, but out of quiet familiarity. It stays, not because it's forced to, but because it chooses to. And that changes how you see everything, doesn't it? All those small behaviors, the climbing, the watching, the ignoring, even the way they move through your home, none of them are random. They're decisions. Tiny, constant decisions your cat is making about where it feels safe, what it trusts, and who it's willing to be around. They don't have words to explain any of this. They never will. But they've never been silent. You just have to know how to look. And maybe now you do. If this made you think about your cat a little differently today, then it was worth it. I'd actually love to know. What's one thing your cat does that you've never really understood? Drop it in the comments. I read them more than you think. And if you're understanding animals on a deeper level, not just what they do, but why they do it, you'll probably enjoy what's coming next. See you in the next one.